Hello, this is Lou Dolphin here for Sentinels of the Multiverse Weekly One-Shot number 73. Big game. Jim knelt and gathered a handful of dry, lifeless soil. He smelled it, then tasted it, grinding the bitter alkaline dust between his teeth. He's here, the Venerable Ranger announced. Now y'all might think you know this man. More's the caution. I've seen his deeds in another time and he aims to do worse. Jim shook the dust off his hands and adjusted his hat against the harsh glare. I reckon his style of justice and mine don't exactly line up, but one thing's clear. We bring him in today, dead or alive. This one-shot requires Mini Pack 2, Shattered Timelines, and Vengeance. Oh my! Advanced Iron Legacy against Chrono-Ranger, K.N.Y.F E Rogue Agent, Parse, and Prime Wardens Fanatic in Final Wasteland? I think? Maybe? This will be a fast week. That's the good news. Okay. I will never let down my guard. Justice must be dispensed to all. Now. Think good and hard, partner. I aim to put you down, and I don't miss. Okay. Chrono-Ranger starts with, by any means, eye on the prize, just doing my job, and the ultimate target. K.N.Y.F E Rogue Agent starts with battlefield experience, overcharged null shield, primed punch, and wrecking uppercut. Parse starts with between the lines, critical multiplier, quick calculation, and segmentation fault. And Prime Wardens Fanatic starts with Consecrated Ground, Divine Focus, End of Days, and Holy Nova. End of Days is really good. We also have a lot of ongoing destruction, or at least Chrono-Ranger doesn't. I don't think K.N.Y.F E ever does, but Parse has consistent ongoing destruction. And Fanatic has End of Days, which destroys everything, but also Consecrated Ground, which can destroy one ongoing card. And ongoing destruction is pretty important in this game. Maybe. Alright. Iron Legacy. Villain. Ironclad Tyrant. Setup. At the start of the game, Iron Legacy enters play, Ironclad Tyrant side up. Cards are revealed from the top of the villain deck until 4 ongoing cards are revealed and put into play. Other revealed cards are returned to the villain deck, which is shuffled. Gameplay. At the start of the villain turn, if Iron Legacy has 20 or fewer HP, Iron Legacy flips. Iron Legacy is immune to environment damage. At the end of the villain turn, Iron Legacy deals each hero target 3 melee damage. Advanced. All damage dealt by Iron Legacy is irreducible. So, hits hard, and if we were able to reduce his damage, it doesn't matter in the front side because it's irreducible. Alrighty. Flip side. If he flips when he has 20 or fewer. When he flips, he's villain motivated by desperation. Gameplay. At the start of the villain turn, if Iron Legacy has 25 or more HP, Iron Legacy flips. Reduced damage dealt to Iron Legacy by 1. At the end of the villain turn, Iron Legacy deals the hero target with the lowest HP 3 melee damage and regains 5 HP. Advanced. The first time Iron Legacy would be dealt damage each turn, redirect that damage to the hero target with the highest HP. Oof. That advanced clause is one of the worst advanced clauses of all time, in my opinion. Because it's the first time he would be dealt damage each turn. La Capitan, I think, has a similar one on her flip side, but that's the first time each round. This is the first damage each turn, so and it gets redirected to a hero target, so you're damaging a hero. So hopefully that damage is a single point of damage, except the damage dealt to Iron Legacy is reduced by 1, so you're redirecting at least a 2-hit to a hero, and then you have to hit him with your subsequent hits, and those are getting reduced by 1. So, my primary strategy against Advanced Iron Legacy, if you can even claim to have a strategy against Iron Legacy in general, is to try to kill him on his front side. And that generally holds true in most games, but the fact that his damage is irreducible and we have a team of heroes who can't stop targets from dealing damage, we're going to have to figure out how to weather the storm. If you're tuning in, trying to figure out how to win this one-shot, I highly recommend you at least play this one-shot, because I would feel guilty if a bunch of people get mint on this because they're waiting for Lude to post a video doing it. I mean, I'm the one who's putting in the efforts here. You guys gotta put in your own share, too. Alright. Here goes nothing. Final evolution. Ongoing. When this card enters play, Iron Legacy deals each non-villain target 1 toxic damage. Whenever a hero uses a power, Iron Legacy regains 2 HP. Ugh. So, okay. This is start of turn damage dealing. Or not even start of turn, start of game damage dealing, which is rather rare. And then, Superhuman Redirection. Ongoing. The first time Iron Legacy will be dealt 5 or more damage from a single source each turn, redirect that damage to the hero target with the highest HP. This is going to hurt our efforts at doing a bunch of damage on Iron Legacy on his front side. But we might have a means of dealing with that. Oh, we have a second Superhuman Redirection. I don't actually know. I think the combination of these two means that the first 2 times he will be dealt 5 or more damage that gets redirected. I think. The first one triggers and then the second one triggers. Demoralizing Presence. Ongoing. Increased damage dealt by Iron Legacy by 1. At the end of the villain turn, each hero target deals themselves 1 psychic damage. Those are the 4 ongoing cards. We've not seen a Galvanized, but we do have 1 damage boost. It's card play. Former Allies. 1 shot. Each player discards 1 card. Play the top card of the villain deck. And this is such a sad card. Just imagining the future, or the alternate timeline where Legacy used to be happy. Alright. Each player discards 1 card. So we're gonna have to make choices here. By Any Means and the Ultimate Target are both super useful bounties against Iron Legacy. Eye on the Prize is great when comboed with By Any Means and Ultimate Target. And just doing my job, if we're all discarding cards, this one is a little less beneficial. So I'm going to ditch Just Losing My Job. This is going to be a fast game anyway. I can't play Just Doing My Job hoping to play it on the next round because I might not survive to the next round. Alright, Knife. We have, when this card is destroyed, draw a card, play a card, and then deal damage and destroy this card, which lets you play a card. Equipment, reduce damage dealt to Knife by the villain target with the highest HP by 1 is not useful when damage is irreducible. It would help on the flip side, though. Primed Punch at least provides for a big melee hit. And Wrecking Uppercut deals some damage and discards a card. So the thing about this version of Knife, though, her base power is not deal a target 2 energy damage. It's reveal the bottom card of a deck, either put it into play or discard it. Which is rather similar to Omnitron X's, which says reveal the top card of a deck, either put it into play or discard it, I think. So similar, except it's from the bottom of a deck. So if we want Knife to deal damage, we need a power that deals damage. Battlefield Experience is a 1-shot damage dealer. Primed Punch would be consistent damage dealing. And Wrecking Uppercut is a 1-shot that deals damage. But, as I said, Overcharged Null Shield, that damage reduction is not going to be useful. We would only want this if we're intending to draw more cards, but I would probably prefer to use her base power over this. So let's go ahead and ditch the Overcharged Null Shield. Parse. I'm just looking through these cards because I don't actually remember what all of them do. Between the Lines is a out-of-turn power use, which is good. Critical Multiplier, well, this card needs to be in play and then a card discarded for it to be beneficial. Quick Calculation is good for getting lots of cards. And Segmentation Fault, as we said, it's a consistent source of discard or ongoing destruction, so we might want to hold on to that one. I mean, Critical Multiplier is generally good, but it's only going to increase a single point of damage by 1, and it only profits if you're going to discard a bunch of cards. And the only one that we have that discards cards is Segmentation Fault. And Quick Calculation is more of a setup card, where it's like, you know, you get to reveal 3 cards in your deck and put 2 in your hand, but, you know, that assumes that you're going to last long enough, and I'm generally assuming that I'm not going to last long enough. So I'm going to ditch Quick Calculation, I think. And then Fanatic. So we have ongoing destruction here. We have consistent damage dealing here, except, well, it's the start of every turn. It costs cards, though, but this is good for hitting Iron Legacy. End of Days, which we might need. And Holy Nova, which lets HP, or let heroes regain a single hit point, which isn't really that great. I mean, like, it's 1 damage to the Iron Legacy, and then we regain a hit point, which is probably not going to be the difference between life and death. So I'm probably going to discard Holy Nova. You got to play the short game against Iron Legacy. Alright, so then Beatdown. 1 shot. Iron Legacy deals the 2 hero targets with the lowest HP 2 melee damage each. Targets dealt damage this way cannot deal damage until the start of the next villain turn. Good. Why would we want to deal damage in this game? Okay, so no choice here. Chrono-Ranger cannot deal damage, and Parse cannot deal damage. And now the end of turn 3 damage increased by 1. So that's a big hit. And then Demoralizing Presence is going to have all of us hit ourselves for 1, except Chrono-Ranger and Parse. That's at least useful. Alright. 1 turn down. Parse is down to 18. 2 heroes have 23. Not the worst first turn. But Chrono-Ranger cannot deal damage, and as I said, we might need to utilize End of Days. So we might not need to, though. We do have 2 sources of ongoing destruction. We have Segmentation Fault, and we have Consecrated Ground, so we can destroy 2 ongoing cards. So Demoralizing Presence almost certainly should go. It's increasing every instance of damage dealt by Iron Legacy by 1, as well as heroes hitting themselves for 1. So certainly, since we're already getting the end of turn Iron Legacy damage, we're at least getting an extra 2 points of damage this way. And then Final Evolution. It's just annoying because we can't really use powers because Iron Legacy will regain HP. The only annoying thing about End of Days, we can destroy all the ongoing cards, but we're also going to destroy any other card that we put into play. So we would have to basically do nothing. Play End of Days, start the environment turn, destroy it, destroy everything else. Environment plays a card, and then Iron Legacy plays a card, and then does another end of turn damage dealing, and then, yeah. And I did mention we want to consider more of the short game against Iron Legacy, so even like destroying Demoralizing Presence, like we save ourselves at least 2 points of damage, but are we going to die in the next turn? Or can we get set up to win on the next round? If we can win in the next round, we don't even need to worry about things. Like Superhuman Redirection is going to be annoying if we're going to deal 5 or more damage, but we don't have 5 or more damage right now. Like Chrono-Ranger is not going to do 5 or more damage at once. Nor will K.N.Y.F.E. Nor will Parse, nor will Fanatic. So we might actually not want to do End of Days then. Okay, well, in that case... I know that Chrono-Ranger cannot currently deal damage, but he can get by any means or ultimate target out. And Parse can't deal damage, so we know that we're not going to use her base power. So she could use Segmentation Fault. And she could use that to destroy Final Evolution so that there's no HP recovery at that point. The only issue is K.N.Y.F.E. If we use K.N.Y.F.'s power and we reveal a card that could deal damage, it's probably not going to be super useful. I'm sort of taking my time here because I sort of expect this to be a 20-30 minute video, so I don't have to be like super rushed. But I'm trying to just... I mean, like, whenever I play Iron Legacy, I always get paralyzed with, is there any way we can even win? Because, like, the 2 options for Chrono-Ranger here, I don't think putting Ultimate Target is going to be that exciting, because it will just let Chrono-Ranger hit Iron Legacy on his next turn. On Iron Legacy's next turn for 2 points of damage. Whereas with By Any Means, Fanatic could potentially hit Iron Legacy for 2 points of damage. I mean, well, yeah, she will with Consecrated Ground. And then if we use her base power, we might... Oh, I guess one hero may use a power. Ugh, but I don't know. And I don't even know what K.N.Y.F.E is going to end up doing. Yeah, let's get by any means out. And then skip the power. Chrono-Ranger draws Jim's hat. Okay. Now K.N.Y.F.E. Battlefield experience would deal 6 damage to Iron Legacy. And then she could play a different card. Like Wrecking Uppercut, which would do 4 damage. So she could do 10 damage right now. And then Iron Legacy would regain 2 HP. That puts him at 24. We only have to be worried if we put him at 20 or lower, at which point he flips. And when he flips, we can't damage him as well. Or we just flip him and then figure out how we're going to deal with this. I don't think this is going to be smart, though, because he regains 5 HP and damage dealt to him is reduced by 1, and he redirects the first hit each turn. So, no, that doesn't seem smart. So, yeah, K.N.Y.F.E has a ton of damage dealing potential. But, I mean... if I'm going to use Consecrated Ground, I would rather hit Iron Legacy with that. So I might want to save Battlefield experience for, like, the next turn. If I intend on killing Iron Legacy. The nice thing about Iron Legacy is he only has 32 HP, so it's sort of easy to kill him, but it's also easy for him to kill us. And with Primed Punch, with the Superhuman Redirections, I can't actually use this with by any means now, so this one's a little less exciting. But I could use it to do 4 damage to Iron Legacy. Like, I could get this out there, deal 2 and 2, Iron Legacy regains 2, so he's down to 30, and then, like, Fanatic probably plays Consecrated Ground, deals 2 to Iron Legacy, that's 28. And then lets a hero use a power, which would be K.N.Y.F.E, who would do another 2 and 2, which would put Legacy down to 24. Am I mathing right? I've already forgot where I am. 32 down to 28, regains 2, 30. Consecrated Ground, 28, and then 2 and 2 is 24. So that gives us 3 points of leeway. Like, Infiltration is going to be random, so I'm not sure if it's better to go with random or to go with... like, I want to try to get him to 21. We're playing Blackjack here with Iron Legacy. We want to get him to 21 without busting. The good news is he's immune to environment damage, so I don't need to worry about the environment. But I think, let's see, 1 and 1, or 2 and 2, and then 2, and then 2 and 2, and then she's going to be playing the top card of her deck, which might also deal damage. I don't think the damage is... well, I guess most of the damage is... I don't know, actually. I think the damage is not optional, but I also remember that the power that I would be giving to K.N.Y.F.E would come after that damage anyway. So, I guess the worst thing is that Fanatic gets, like, a... whatchamacallit? Wrathful Retribution, but she won't have enough cards for that unless I just don't play a card. And even if she gets a Wrathful Retribution, Superhuman Redirection is going to redirect that. Okay. Yeah, I think the plan is Primed Punch. Not Wrecking Uppercut. Primed Punch. Because with by any means, this is 2 and 2. He regains the 2, and K.N.Y.F.E draws another Primed Punch. Parse cannot deal damage, but can destroy something. So is it Demoralizing Presence or Final Evolution? I guess I was going to destroy both, I guess, with Consecrated Ground. I don't really have a reason to play Divine Focus, per se. I could put out Divine Focus instead of Consecrated Ground. This is going to do 3 Radiant damage at the start of every turn. So she's going to do 3 at the start of the environment turn. And then the start of the villain turn check happens first before Divine Focus. And she will have at least 2 cards to discard for that. So we could do 3 damage with Divine Focus and 3 damage on Legacy's turn and not worry about him flipping. So if I want to profit most from, you know, being able to use powers, I need to destroy Final Evolution. So Segmentation Fault and discard something. Discard a card. And that critical multiplier, as I said, isn't going to be exciting if the game doesn't last long enough to warrant it. Between the Lines would do more damage immediately if we select a hero with a damage-dealing power. And we can now stop Iron Legacy from regaining HP. Parse draws another Between the Lines. Alright. So let's make sure we're good on this math here. I'm not doing the 1+1 damage with Consecrated Ground, but I can do 2+1 damage with Divine Focus on the next turn. So that will be 3 damage to Iron Legacy, and then Primed Punch is going to do 2 and 2, so that's 7 damage. Iron Legacy will be down to 23. So the only way this goes wrong is if Fanatic reveals Brutal Censure, which deals 2 damage. But almost anything else is okay. So again, Demoralizing Presence is only going to make us take at least 2 more points of damage in the next turn. I don't think we're going to die in the next turn. Famous last words. So Divine Focus it is. Now deal herself 3 damage, play the top card of her deck. It's Absolution. She regains a hit point. That's okay. Absolution is not going to do any better than Primed Punch, because this is 1 and 1, like Fanatic's normal base power, versus 3+1. So I'll just give it to K.N.Y.F.E. Fanatic draws Zealous Offense. Final Wasteland is going to play a card, but first we discard a card, and Zealous Offense is not going to last long enough, and it doesn't help us against Iron Legacy anyway. And he's going to be at 23, so that's okay. Final Wasteland plays Amphibious Chupacabra, Cryptid. At the end of the environment turn, this card deals the non-environment target with the lowest HP 3 melee damage. Then, if that target has 5 or more HP, this card deals that target 1 toxic damage. So Parse is going to take quite a hit. Iron Legacy does not flip, but I can discard something. End of Days is not going to be useful at this point. Iron Legacy plays Flying Assault. 1 shot. Iron Legacy deals the 3 hero targets with the highest HP 3 projectile damage each. Destroy 2 equipment cards. So that's not equipment. The only equipment we had is Absolution. That's okay. This is going to do 1 extra point of damage, but we'll survive. And then the end of turn damage all. And then the end of turn self damage. Alright. He's down to 20. Consecrated Ground is going to do more damage with Divine Focus than from Consecrated Ground. So Fanatic is discarding her last card. Alright. Jim's Hat is a card you would normally play, and I might as well play it, but it's not going to be beneficial unless we somehow last long enough, but Jim's Hat. And then I want to get Ultimate Target out, but I should probably eye on the prize first so I can at least deal a damage to Iron Legacy. So now I'm just going for broke. We have to win this round, otherwise Iron Legacy flips. We draw another eye on the prize. That's beautiful, because now I can do another ping damage. We might be able to pull this off. Kill on sight. This is not going to be useful because we're going to have to win on this round, otherwise this game is probably not going to end well. I mean, the advantage of Iron Legacy's flip side is he only damages 1 hero. The disadvantage is we're not going to be able to really hit him until he flips back, and then he hits everyone again. Ultimate Target on Iron Legacy, because now Chrono-Ranger's base power will do 3 points of damage. Chrono-Ranger draws Ranger's Mark. And we're still here. So again, I can't use this 4 melee damage because by any means is going to force it to redirect. So we're going to stop. I don't really need to hit the Amphibious Chupacabra. He's going to go after Iron Legacy even though he's immune to damage. By the point that we get to Amphibious Chupacabra. Alright, Battlefield Experience. Same story as last time. 2 and 2 is going to be 3 and 3 with By Any Means. This card is destroyed, so then she draws a card and plays a card, and if that card is Wrecking Uppercut, that's going to be 3 plus 1, which is 4. That's a total of 10 damage, and we win the game. So here we go. We draw Primed Punch. We wreck the uppercut on Iron Legs. 25 minutes. I said this was going to be 20 to 30 minutes. Fast game. Because as always, games against Iron Legacy tend to be very fast in one direction or another. Well, I hope you enjoyed this half-hour-long one-shot. And please, 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 I know this is after the game, but please play these one-shots honestly. Don't play this, or don't watch this video intending to copy what I did just so you get a mint, because then it's not really a mint. You stole the mint. You went to the comic book store after they closed and stole the mint because you didn't have enough money, even though you really did, but you just wanted to buy the supersized McDonald's meal instead. No, be honest. Do this game honestly. If you've come here because you failed the mint and you failed the near mint and you saw how to win, then great. If you came here because you got the mint and you hoped that I would get the mint too, well, yay. Anyway, very short game, very short match, but that's Iron Legacy for you. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to follow, like, subscribe, and share. I think those are the holy 4 or whatever of YouTube. And leave a comment if you feel so inclined, but that's it. Good night.